They're seeking to strengthen the police. We're going to make them more effective.
This is how close the Serbians came to cutting Croatia in half. Just 2 miles from the Adriatic, the village of Crno, which this time last month was in Serbian hands. When Croatian forces recaptured the village, they found every house either blown up or badly damaged. There was evidence that the Serbs had used graves in the churchyard as bunkers, and the insignia of Serbia was daubed on walls, besides slogans of the Chetniks, the Serb paramilitaries. Many of the men involved in the action to retake the village are inhabitants of Crno.
We were waiting for that moment, when we could go back to our place, our homes, in whatever condition that may be, destroyed, burned or plundered. Military morale was very high. It was excellent.
But the main objective of last month's Croatian offensive was the Maslenica bridge, which used to carry the main highway running down the length of the country. It was blown up by Serbian forces in November 1991, after they occupied the area during the height of the war in Croatia. 4 weeks ago, the government in Zagreb quite unexpectedly defied the UN forces policing the zone and drove out the Serbs. Despite the outcry which followed, Croatia refused to give up what it recaptured. Any hopes the Croatians had of beginning work on rebuilding the bridge straight away proved over-optimistic. The Serbs have continued shelling this area from a hillside position to the southeast, and engineering work is too dangerous. When the area is considered safe, a temporary pontoon will be built lower down the gorge. Just that will take at least 2 months. The reason why the Croatians are so desperate to rebuild the bridge was evident this week when 12-hour-long queues built up at the car ferry, which is currently the only link between northern and southern Croatia. High winds had stopped the ferry sailing for a whole day, and so blocked all military, humanitarian and commercial traffic. The local people are determined to hold on to this thin strip of land. During our visit to the newly recaptured area, we found a village, Pozodarje, just half a mile from the Maslenica bridge, where some 50 Croatians had stayed on, despite the constant bombardment of the past year and a half. This husband and wife and their 3 children had built themselves a tiny bomb shelter into the side of their house.
We are not afraid. The first day we felt vulnerable, especially because of the children and women and everything. And so we felt vulnerable. And my oldest son was running in the direction of the multiple rocket launcher over there, just like the ones that are firing now.
The people here hardly flinch when they hear shelling. Those are our guns, the old lady says.
We want to work, we want everything like that, but we can't because our field is on the way to an occupied area. So we don't ask for help, we just want to work on our field.
The nearby city of Zadar, with 75,000 inhabitants, has also endured shelling for a year and a half, though it did not fall into the hands of Serbian forces. Damage has been caused to some of the oldest buildings in the city centre, leaving the people bitter about the role of the UN protection force UNPROFOR.
It was obvious that all the town was getting more and more depressed because they saw no way out. It was unbelievable how happily they greeted UNPROFOR, but after they realized that UNPROFOR had no effect, they again slowly lost hope.
As if to prove the powerlessness of the international peacekeepers, a Croatian flag now flies above the UN building abandoned when last month's offensive broke out. As far as these soldiers are concerned, the international community lacks the determination to push Serbian forces from Croatian territory, and they're willing to shed more blood to further this aim, leaving diplomacy a long